Good morning, everybody. Myself G. Channaya, PGD Biology, Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Valasapalli, Chittoor district in Andhra Pradesh. So today I am going to discuss about the general classification and some of the general characters of plant kingdom. When you see the nature have different types of plants are there. These plants, they can survive in different areas in the nature. Some plants are non-flowering plants. Some plants are flowering plants. Some plants, they have flowers, but they are not giving the fruits. But some plants have flowers and they shall give the fruits and seeds also. But when you see these plants, some plants are very small organisms and some are herbs, shrubs, some are trees are there. But some plants have green chlorophyll pigment is there. They are known as autotrophs. Some of the plants like fungi, they are not having any chlorophyll pigment. They are known as heterotrophs. That depends upon dead organisms to get the nutrients. So like this you see, the nature kinds of difference of plants are there. But some of the plant they can survive in water. Some of the plant they can survive in the terrestrial areas. Some plant they will survive on the earth also. Some plants they can survive shadow regions. So like this you see, when you see the plant kingdom, that you can see different of plants, they have different of characters are there. So let us to discuss about what is the main introduction of the plant kingdom. What are the main fundamental features of planting? The most of the plants are eukaryotes and chlorophyll containing organisms. The cell wall of plant cell is made up of cellulose. They have an ability to grow by cell divisions. When you see the plants have cells. Each cell have nucleus and cytoplasm is there, and chloroplast. They can help to prepare their own food. And the body also cells. These cells they can divide. They can growth takes place. They can develop the new plants. Some of the organs of the plant kingdom planting are multicellular, eukaryotes, and autotrophic. And they are not dependent upon others. They can prepare their own food. The kingdom plantae includes plants which are multicellular eukaryotes. The plant body made up of thalloid because the body have thallus-like structures. The thallus is a flexible plant body. Some of the plants have root, stem, leaves are there. Some plants are non-vascular plants. Some plants are vascular plants are there. But they have two stages in their life cycles. One is a haploid stage. Another one is a diploid stage. In haploid stage, the sexually producing gametophytic generation. In diploid stage, asexually producing saprophytic generations. So the two generations are known as alternates. So it is known as a alternates of generation. By the process of haploid, by the process of diploids, they can develop the plants. That's why they are known as a alternation of generation. But what do you mean by plant kingdom? The plants are multicellular, predominantly photosynthetic eukaryotes in the plant kingdom. Historically, plants were treated as one of the two kingdoms, including all living things that were not animals, and all algae and fungi were treated in plants. But one of the famous scientists in biology, R.H. Whitaker, a 5 kingdom classification. One is Protista, Monera, fungi, plantae, and animalia. These are main 5 kingdom classification given by R.H. Whitaker. So when you see the entire kingdom, all you will see the plants. When you see the image to see the different kinds of plants are there, you can also see some of the microscopic plants like algae, as well as tallest trees in sequoia. But some of the plants are flowering plants. The plants have proper root systems, leaves are there, and the body have thylakoid-like structures. But who discovered the plant kingdom? The R.H. Whitaker originally wanted to include all producers in all plant kingdom. So he was now willing to relegate unicellular algae and cyanobacteria to his new kingdom, Protista. R.H. Whitaker continued to place all multicellular producers in plant kingdom. But he is the man of R.H. Whitaker, the famous scientist given by 5 kingdom classification in biology. So he has explained the difference of plant kingdom like Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. He has explained the different characters, difference between cell organization, what the cell position, cell wall, nutrition, and what the mode of nutrition. But one of the famous scientists, father of taxonomy, Carolus Linnaeus, is a father of taxonomy, and he identified the plants in the nature. What are plants are there, how their survival, and how they can develop their new organisms. They are identified. So he is the father of taxonomy, and he grouped plants and animals into mentioned kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animaliae. So he is the father of taxonomy. But as mentioned, what do you mean by classification? Classification means the biology, the establishment of hierarchical system of categories on the basis of presumed natural relationships among the organisms. You can compare the natural characters among the organisms are known as a classification. So what are the main types of classification in biology? The first one you see, artificial system of classification, natural classification, phylogenetic classification, that is known as a evolutionary base of characters, numerical taxonomy, cytotaxonomy, and chemotaxonomy. So these are the main types of classification in biology. And first we'll discuss about artificial system of classification. The artificial system of classification of organism basis of non-evolutionary features. Non-evolutionary features. So the group of together plants according to the numbers and situations of their stamens, style, stigma, rather than the evolutionary relationships. So these classification is deals with a group of non-evolutionary characters. So the natural system of classification and proposed also Bentham and Hooker. In natural system of classification, seed plants are proposed by Bentham and Hooker. In these 3 volumes are written genera plantarum. So what are the evolutionary characters, how they are born, how they came to nature, he has studied. So that is deals with natural classification of system. The natural system of classification are relation based on the descent form of common ancestors. So what are the main plant, what their ancestor they identify. And this classification of organizer classified on the basis of their vegetative characters, and they are identified in the nature, how their growth takes in the nature, they are identify the vegetative characters also. So they are a comparison, artificial system of classification and a natural system of classification. The next one you see, phylogenetic classification system. The phylogenetic classification system is also based on the evolutionary ancestors. It generates the trees called cladograms. So I compare the difference of organisms. So the Linnaeus classified organisms based on obvious physical traits. Basically, organisms were grouped together if any looked alike. So these are the phylogenetic system of classification, and the common ancestors, they have different characters from species 1, species 2, and species 3. All the characters are identified. One, they develop the common ancestors. When you compare the common ancestors, these common ancestors have these 3 types of species, that is evolutionary characters. So like this you see, the cladogram represent the mammals also they identify. The birds evolved from reptiles. Linnaeus classified mammals, reptiles and birds in separate classes. But what are the main advantages of phylogenetic classification? The phylogenetic classification have 2 main advantages over the Linnaeus system. The first one is the phylogenetic classification tells us something important about the organisms, their evolutionary history. They can sell evolution history. The second one says rank of organisms. What are the characters are there? Phylogenetic classification does not attempt to rank of organisms. So by the way, this one, they are classified the phylogenetic classification advantages. The next one you see, numerical taxonomy. The numerical taxonomy is based on the classifying organism to help of numerical methods. The Michael Adamson, a French botanist, planned to assign numerical values of the similarities between one organism to other organisms. So numerical taxonomy is a system of grouping of species by numeral methods based on their characters, and it was identified Peter H.A. Sinnett. So they identify the system of grouping species, numerical methods based on the characters they are identified by Peter and H.A. Sinnett. So next classification is known as a cytotaxonomy. The cytotaxonomy deals with the relation between the organisms of structures of the chromosomes. They compared the chromosomes from one organ to another organisms. So they identify the chromosomes, they identify the genes compared from one organ to other organisms. The properties of chromosomes are also seen in taxonomy. The chromosomes number being the most widely used and quoted characters in the biology. Depends on the chromosomes. They are also identify the characters of the species. What type of chromosomes are available? What type of species? Next one you see chemotaxonomy. The chemotaxonomy deals with chemicals in the body, in the plant body. The chemotaxonomy of the cyanobacteria was initiated by Kenney. So this is the main characters of plant kingdom. Thank you. Have a nice day.